Kevin was the kind of person who lived for the thrill, always pushing the boundaries of his own limits, thriving on the rush of adrenaline. Whether he was dangling off the edge of a cliff with nothing but his hands to hold him up or soaring through the sky in a wingsuit, Kevin was in his element when on the precipice of danger. His thirst for adventure was unquenchable, and he lived every day like it was his last. But what truly defined Kevin was not just his love for the extreme, but the deep connections he forged with those who shared his passions. Without a doubt, I was one of those people. I, on the other hand, had always found my own thrill on the waves as a dedicated surfer and on the tracks racing anything with wheels. The ocean's roar and the engine's growl were my symphony, equally intoxicating as Kevin's heights. It was this shared pulse of adventure that formed an unbreakable bond between us, built on mutual respect and understanding of each other's need for that next surge of excitement. One evening, I found myself at Kevin's family home at the invitation of his mother, Savannah. She had always been a gracious hostess, warm and welcoming, and tonight was no different. The smell of home-cooked meals filled the house as Kevin and I sat in the living room reminiscing our latest escapades and planning new ones. Savannah watched us with a smile, as she always did, but tonight she seemed particularly content. Kevin mentioned something that caught my attention. You know, he started with a reflective tone. People often ask why I do what I do. Why climb without ropes? Why jump off cliffs? Isn't it terrifying? He paused, his eyes looking far beyond the walls of his home, as if seeing through time itself. But honestly, it's not a big deal anymore to me. This was a surprising admission, coming from someone who lived for the extremes. It's not that the thrill is gone, but more like it's woven into who I am now. It's as natural to me as breathing. Savannah chimed in, adding context to Kevin's words. He was always like this, you know? Even as a child, Kevin had this hunger for pushing himself. I used to worry constantly, but now I see it brings him immense happiness and fulfillment. Their conversation opened a window for me into the evolution of Kevin's mindset, one that had become such an integral part of his character. For Kevin, these elements of danger were no longer mere pursuits. They had transcended into expressions of his selfhood. Understanding this, I reflected on my own passions. The thrill was still fresh to me. Each wave, each race a new testament to my love for the rush. But here was Kevin, a person so in sync with his pursuits that they ceased to be mere activities and had become a part of his existence itself. Dinner that night was more than just a meal shared among friends. It was a celebration of passions, of understanding, and of the bonds that hold us together. Kevin had shown me that sometimes the most powerful thrill isn't the adrenaline itself, but the peace found in knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be and doing exactly what you were meant to do.